pesky rat and squirrel targets. Ben Husthwaite talks through the controversial luck, not skill target.
We're going to actually become a rifle shooter.
We have news, we have hunting YouTube, and Kai has another rapid recipe for you to chew on. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Whoa. Is that behind or in front of it?
Behind.
No, right, hold on.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hey Ben.
Everyone will tell you you're behind,
Okay.
because what happens is you put the shot in front of it, the clay goes through and then the dust comes up.
Oh right,
So you're actually miles in front
was that in front?
by a considerable amount. If you
Really?
shoot, what you will visually see as about 6 inches to the right, so behind it, you'll blow it up.
6 inches behind it.
So you're almost going to shoot as close to the back edge of the rabbit, to the right hand edge of the rabbit moving to the left, and try it.
6 inches behind it.
So you're almost going to aim to miss to the right.
Okay. Whoa.
So just on the back of it. There you go.
Whoa.
And you can have that one for free. So on this target here, we're going to cover a multiple of sins. We've got the gravity rabbit, the rat, the squirrel. It has many names, but we've also picked it because it's below our feet. So we're going to cover the target, but also posture and movement when shooting below your headline. So first of all, we're going to show you the target, Dave.
Yeah.
First thing you're going to notice is from your call, there's going to be a huge delay
Yeah.
before it appears. So what you'd be looking to do is time your mount. If you stood there fully mounted, pull, it could be 4 or 5 seconds before this appears. Apprehension steps in and you start to get paralysis by analysis because you stand there just thinking. So what we're going to try and do is time our mount so we get to our mounted position just before the clay pops out on the end of that wooden ramp there. So on your call, Dave.
Pull.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's out. So I would be counting that in. On around 4 seconds, I would start my mount to get comfy before that rabbit comes out. So let's just try that now. Guns closed, stance and posture, excellent. Barrel height's good.
Pull.
1, 2, 3, 4, mount, there's the bird. But because it's below our feet, a tendency on here is to see shooters lift the back foot and try and go over on a straight leg. This is where I believe gym work and suppleness can help. I'm going to keep both feet flat and I'm going to go from my waist. So I'm going to go over from here. That's going to allow me still freedom of movement from my core. So if we go up onto one leg like this, I have no movement. I've got zero balance and no movement, and you end up pulling the gun down or pushing the gun up. 2 feet flat, Dave.
Yep.
Nice, comfortable stance. And then we're going to go right hip back and over the bar. So we've still got freedom of movement. Okay?
Yeah.
So 2 things we're looking for: the timed mount, posture over the bar, and then the finishing shot. Note the low gun mount here. Dave's not in the shoulder like he was for the quartering shot previous episode.
Pull.
I can't help laughing, Dave. I've seen so many people miss these. For me, it's the hardest target in shooting, which is the reason we're picking it. On your call again.
Pull!
Dave's timing the mount in now. Nice shot. So I think your timing of the mount was perfect.
Yes.
Your time, you know,
good.
you were there just before the clay arrived.
Yeah.
Anything you felt wasn't good about the shot?
The second shot, no.
Again, I don't believe it was a good shot for yourself.
Right.
We mounted and shot. If we think this target is barely staying up.
Yeah.
So we've got the tendencies of the, never look at the gun. Never keep your eyes on the clay. I've got to go out the window here.
Okay.
We're going to actually become a rifle shooter. We're going to be a very, very purposeful shot. So if I shoot, I believe 4 inches behind this clay,
yeah.
I'll hit it. If I shoot a centimetre to the left, I will miss it. So I'm going to favour the back. I'm going to get into a very comfortable position. We're going to mount the gun. So we're going to probably start on a little bit of negative lead.
Yeah.
We're going to use the bead on the end of the gun. We're going to use 50% on the gun, 50% on the rabbit target down there. And you're going to then be very, very precise, placing your dot on the back edge. That shot was too fast. We're going to take a little bit longer, maybe another 18 inches to be precise before taking that shot. Posture's good, get over that bar. Notice this hip will come backwards and Dave's leaning from the waist.
Pull!
Times the mount. Then we start to locate the barrel. A lot better. A lot better. The only time we can be precise is when mounted.
Yeah.
I know you killed that one,
yeah.
but you mounted and shot.
Shot.
There wasn't no, this needs to be and be precise. One more time. Don't be afraid, like I say, to throw the rule book out the window and use the barrel. Use the bead to place the shot.
Pull!
Same timing on the mount. A lot better. Beautiful shot again.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to have that gun in your shoulder and start to become
yeah.
barrel aware. The slower the target, the more I'm actually going to look at the gun. And on here, for me, it would be 50-50.
Yeah.
Well done.
The second 2 shots felt more controlled.
Yeah, because we say we're mounted and
exactly.
actually placing shots, not
Rather
just
swinging.
hoping it breaks.
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay, what do you think about targets in the competitive world then like this, which is an element of luck involved?
Not so much luck. What I don't like is when you go to major competitions and effort hasn't been put in. If you are going to put a rabbit on, you need to make sure that rabbit clay is consistent. I've lost world championships because rabbit clays have jumped on me. I've won world championships because I've seen a rabbit clay jump on somebody else. I just don't believe that should become a factor. A rabbit's meant to be on the floor. If you commit to that shot and that rabbit jumps, you've just missed a target through no fault of your own. If it's a 200 bird event, you're now down to 199 chances of breaking that bird. I'd like to see them rolled, matting or sand, so they will stay on the floor. And after every other squad, the matting swept, so that the target does stay consistent. Or put a jump in there so they all jump. But we need to try and get it where we're all shooting at the same target. It's not an element of luck come into play.
I mean, is the noise part and parcel of the whole target, really?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, I've thrown this for quite a few times, and I've thrown it off towers as well, so they fall down. And you're just trying to get people into that mounted position. It's coming in, and then they've already took 6 shots before it's come out. So it is all about just timing that mounting and trying to stay just fluid. You see, I'm actually taking that shot a little bit later than Dave because I actually want to be more precise. I'm trying to make sure that I know exactly where the gun is before I take the shot. It's not like I'm trying to pull out to a big lead and I've got tolerance here. I'm probably shooting, the pattern's going to be something like this. There's no room for error. You have to actually place the shot, not please break. It's a very different style of shooting.
I haven't even thought about that, actually. Yeah, the shot spread is going to be tiny.
There isn't one. There isn't one. They've only just come out the wad. You're shooting a bullet.
Okay, and as far as obviously the desperate efforts prior to us being here, there's a lot of unbroken targets.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a look, I will actually show you something. If you zoom in a foot out from the edge of the grass there, the end of where them large rabbit clays are, I'm going to put a shot straight into the floor, and you'll see the actual pattern, and it will not be very big. you're looking at a bullet. There is no room for error. You have to start placing shots, and that's where the olden days where they say never look at the gun. I totally disagree. You have to be totally barrel aware. The less lead, the more barrel aware you become.
Thank you, Ben and Dave. And what we didn't say last week, and we should do, and we'll certainly say this week, thank you to Sporting Targets for hosting that film shoot.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. A group of anti-shooters has conned the Guardian newspaper into printing an article attacking lead shot. The British government dissolved its lead ammunition group in 2016 after it rejected the group's findings. A rump of antis from the group continue to call themselves Lead Ammunition Group and successfully placed a story with the Guardian claiming that 400,000 birds a year die of lead poisoning from cartridges. Shooting organisations have been quick to challenge the story, but the Guardian refuses to take it down. The Companions of St Hubert welcomed 2 Brits among the new Knights of St Hubert in a recent ceremony. Al Gabriel, a deer stalker from Northumberland who recently featured on Fieldsports Channel, and Basque Council member Cara Richardson were knighted in the Basilica in the Belgian town of St Hubert. Other European and international hunters and their families attended the ceremony, along with working dogs and birds of prey. The Companions represent the coming together of 2 groups of European hunters in 1975. A Belgian hunters association called the Union Saint-Hubert, and the French regional brotherhood, Les Champignons de Saint-Hubert du Val-de-l'Eau. Their goals are to improve hunting practices and relations among their members. For more about the Companions, visit leschampignonsdesaint-hubert.com. Thanks to Al and Tom Vandermeer for sending us the footage, and for Charlie for putting this story in. A UK gun auction house is on the move. Southam's auctioneers, specialising in the sales of sporting guns and antique arms, are heading to the multi-million-pound sales room of W&H Peacock, just off the Bedford Southern Bypass, and just in time for their June sale on the 7th of June. Conservation officials in the US state of Florida are celebrating a milestone. It is the extermination of the 1,000th python in just 14 months since they began employing hunters to control numbers. End to end, the eliminated snakes measure about 1.4 miles, according to the South Florida Water Management District, and weigh in at more than 8 tons. American antis are up in arms after a new mood of lightening regulation for hunters. The state of Wyoming has just announced that there are enough grizzly bears in Yellowstone National Park, 700 of them, for the state to offer 22 tags this autumn. The Mongolian government is trying to impose a hunting ban on a group of native hunters in the country. The Duka hunters of northern Mongolia are being banned from killing red deer and moose. The government says it's because they're selling hunting trips to Chinese and Russian clients. They are compensating the hunters with a monthly handout, but the Duka say their opposition to the ban is less about the money, more about their way of life. And finally, a wild moose chase? Are there still moose in New Zealand? A journalist on the Kiwi website stuff.co.nz reckons there are. Moose are known to have been released in the Fiordland in 1910, a present from the governor of Saskatchewan to make South Island into a trophy hunting paradise. But there have only been a few sightings since. The last confirmed one is in 1952. Writer Charlie Mitchell has gathered the evidence and is presenting it in a series of podcasts. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Next up, a quick venison recipe. now to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. My film of the week is this two-parter, Stag Hunting New Zealand by Ultimate Fishing. Matt Watson takes his son Shaw on his first hunting trip, plus rugby club mates, another father and son Glenn and Max. They are after red and fallow deer in the wild Wairarapa coast. If I were Barry Norman, you pays your money and you takes your chock eyes. I'd call this a road movie and a coming-of-age movie, but really it's just a good hunting show, and I hope he makes more of them. Staying in New Zealand, the duck hunting season is underway. Here is the opener on Otago, South Island with CW Calls NZ. Back in the UK, Ian Harford is stalking roebucks in Cornwall for Team Wild TV. The weather ranges from blazing to soggy, but he finds a gap in the rain to take out this injured buck. German hunting sensation Hunter Brothers are after roebuck in May. Gerald and Paul Reilman shoot 3 mature but not trophy bucks and pass over others. Even in whispered German, it's a gripping film. Also German, Jörg Eberich of Jagdbüro Kala is in Pomerania in Poland with a remarkable camera shot of a wild boar stalk in action. Keith Warren is more than usually Texan on us this week, going back to his childhood hunting grounds in Llano County in the Texas Hill Country. As a kid, he used to hunt deer here. Now he hunts feral hogs. And also in the spirit of change, he takes the opportunity to tell us that his films can be found on highroadhunting.com as well as YouTube. The famous hunting agency Limpopo and Diana bring a Bezoar ibex hunt to your screen. Forgive the cheesy voiceover once he is done explaining the biology of the ibex and the fact the famous Bezoar stone was the rhino horn of its day. We get into a good and ultimately successful stalk in Turkey with a client. And finally, summer fun with 22 Blinkster in this film, collaborating with American trick shooters the Gould brothers. It takes back garden target practice to a new level. That's it for this week. I've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please pop over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click to like us there on Facebook, you can follow us on Twitter, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can even follow us on Instagram. Or best of all, you can pop your email address into our constant contact page, our register page, and we'll contact you about this show, Field Sports Britain, which is at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. Plus, you can buy shares in Field Sports Channel. What a marvellous opportunity with Father's Day coming up. Plus, you can even buy merchandise in our shop. We'll be back next week. Until then, good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.